Welcome Mogale City to our third installment of Let's Talk Tuesdays. Today we'll be talking about a burning and hot topic, excuse the pun, the Luipardsvlei Landfill Site, or the mismanagement thereof. All of the community assets in Mogale City belong to the community, and it is disastrous when such environmental catastrophes have not only happened once, but have happened over 5 times now, causing exacerbated and protracted episodes of smoke smouldering across our city for kilometers on end. It must be laid squarely at the blameworthiness to the EFF. The political head of the department is the management and oversight executive, and the political representative is that of the EFF. Now, not only can they not govern, but emails have been sent to their leaders and no replies have been forthcoming. Today we have Alderman Panel, who is the chairperson of our caucus, a representative on the environmental portfolio, and also an alderwoman. Just some background information: an alderwoman or an alderperson is a councillor that has dedicated so many years with distinction that they have earned enough points to be conferred a title of alderperson. Also, we have Ms. Jane Dawson, resident of Mogale City, who would like to give a testimony of how this landfill site fires have affected her over the last 14 months. And as we all well know, over the last 14 months, the EFF has been governing that portfolio, or misgoverning, as most times happen. All right, so more on this leaderlessness and lackadaisical laziness, unresponsive government. Maybe you could tell us some of the personal effects that you've had, as well as engagements that you've actually approached the leadership of the EFF, and yet there's been nothing forthcoming.
I had 2 IOPS last year, and it just so happened that it was in the the beginning of this 14 months. And my eyes were affected by the noxious fumes. Plus the fact that I have a neighbour 2 houses down that is going through chemotherapy, and she's really battling. There are a lot of people in our area. It's an older area, and a lot of the people in my area suffer from comorbidities, so they are affected, and it is noxious. I have emailed countless times to the NEC and had absolutely no response. I don't hold my breath because I don't expect it. I have also emailed Malema and had absolutely no response either, because I feel that I know that this guy is an EFF member, and I would have thought that the leadership would be encouraging their members to do their jobs.
So you wouldn't be holding your breath, because if they can't even acknowledge and reply to emails, we can't expect them to govern more difficult projects.
And the thing is that this fire, it is bad. There's a lot of people affected. There really are. And we just can't have this. I just feel that I pay my rates and taxes, and I expect to have the service that I should have.
Now, there is an entire plethora of legislation that has been infringed upon and outright broken, never mind the breaches of our constitutional rights, which has disastrous and often deadly effects on our residents' lives and health. Section 24 of the Constitution is our entrenched right to a healthy environment. And more on the fact why we have triggered a petition, and thank you very much for the broad support, Mogale City, more on why we would like to unlock and declare it as a local state of disaster. Some of the instances and council items which have already gone into council, and we must remember, leadership is about having a strategic vision. You cannot simply be reactive to every catastrophe, because you need proactive planning. More on this is the item that served in November 2023, and why currently Mogale City is not only in contravention of legislation, but their own council resolutions. Alderman Panel?
Thank you. At the 29th Special Council meeting, an item was brought to Council, and the resolution of that item was adequate resources should be made available for the landfill site, and the operations be given priority to prevent reoccurrences of such incidents. Now, that was in November. From November up until now, we've had 2 occurrences again. So clearly it is mismanagement, and there are toxic fumes that are causing illnesses amongst the people. We have infants in our area that are suffering from this, asthma, respiratory diseases, and so on and so forth. Now, directly from the landfill site, which is in Ward 14 of Mogale City, you have an old age home, Golden Age Village, where there are approximately 120 to 140 people living there with illnesses. The mismanagement doesn't only affect one or two people, it affects entire wards where you've got a population of approximately 50,000-60,000 people that are suffering from this. The mismanagement was brought to our attention in a portfolio meeting last year, October. When we got to council, the item was referred back by the Speaker of Council. Then in November, the item that we currently have, whereby our municipal officials need to implement the resolutions.
All right. So we will be escalating this to higher authorities. It is clear that this is requiring interventions. Unfortunately, the leadership, namely the EFF representatives, are unable to deal with this crisis. So we'll be escalating this so that we can have both national and provincial interventions here, because unfortunately Mogale City's mitigation attempts have not yielded results. This has been now the 5th outbreak in, like we say, 14 months. And we are requiring intervention from other spheres of government now. One of the wonderful things about landfill sites is that while it's seen as trash, there's actually a treasure trove of resources there. And this is something that decisive strategic leadership can unlock. We look forward to turning trash into treasure, and this is why it's so important that people vote for credible parties that have track records of good governance, because literally the other options can be deadly. Tune us in next time, where we will be discussing how the billing cycles affect your pocket. Most of high importance is the fact that we need to protect our public purse and have more efficient, economical and effective uses of resources. So join us next time on episode 4, where we will be literally discussing the public purse, which is our purse.